So Her Hustle is a podcast that I've started. It is so in its infancy. Essentially, all I'm trying to do is build my personal brand and create a community.
Well, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for being here.
Of
Why don't you
course.
quickly introduce yourself and we'll kick on?
Sure. My name is Briahna Barrett, Bri for short. Everyone just calls me Bri. I'm a 25-year-old business owner, podcast host, and freelance marketer.
Awesome. I love it. Nice and succinct. And it's good that people call you Bri because I was going to ask that. What do you want me to call you for the rest of this podcast? And
Bri.
I forgot. Hey, as I said off camera, I want to go back. I want to find out how that relationship started and how you got kicked off with Edna and all the Boss Babe stuff that you guys did. Where did that all begin? And is there a story before that, or is that where it all kind of started?
Great point to start with. So I was my second year of uni and honestly, I didn't really have any direction.
Yeah.
I've never really been ambitious work-wise.
Okay.
I've always been quite ambitious socially and with sport, but high school, uni, I was just never really that driven academically.
Yep.
And I followed Ia on her personal page and I followed Ia's businesses as a consumer of her brand.
It.
And so in my second year, she put up a story and she was looking for interns.
Yep.
And she was looking for interns 1 day a week, 8 weeks, reply to the story if you can.
Yep.
And I just saw it and thought, why not? I've got nothing else on the go at the moment. I need to start thinking about something post-uni. And I enjoyed her as a content creator, business owner. So that just started from that point. She replied to me via DM and was like,
nice.
Great, can you start Monday? Bring your laptop. And then that's where it all began.
Love it. When was this?
This was probably 2018, I think.
2018.
Yeah, May 2018.
And what was that first, what was that like at the beginning? Because how far along was her business?
So at the time she had Bambi Boutique, which was a clothing company.
Yeah.
She had sold Lux Fitness and Waist Trainer.
Yeah.
She was also kind of doing an online course at the time and had a few clients on the go for Explosive Social, but that wasn't even an agency at that point.
Okay.
It was just her helping people who were asking questions. And she was just about to start a Celebration Box.
Yeah.
So that's where I slotted in at that point.
Got it. And so you were working mostly in the Celebration Box part?
Celebration Box and Bambi Boutique.
Got it. And so what was it like at that time? Because that must have been like even talking to them now, I mean, they're a bit more chill now in terms of their lifestyle, but then it must have been a bit of a crazy ride.
It was really interesting going into it because like I said, I was really nervous and I showed up on that first day. I texted ahead, got the team coffees, I was ready to go. I sat in my car for half an hour, I was early, I was prepared.
Yeah.
And when I walked in, it was just in her house upstairs in this really small room. All the clothes were in the garage, the fulfillment center was her garage. And I had in my brain that it was just this big operation and this big business. When I walked in and it was a staff of 3, there was more interns on that day than there were full-time team members. And so I think my nerves were settled quite quickly when I thought, okay, no, we're going into a small business here. I'm going to get to work really closely with her. So straight away I was keen as, but I was nervous to begin with.
Can I ask about that? So you said it settled the nerves because it was quite a small operation. Was there any nervousness about, oh shit, this wasn't what I thought? I thought it was going to be this big thing. Was there any part of you that was taken aback that it wasn't what you thought it was?
No, because I had watched The Devil Wears Prada, the movie, and that big magazine, and there was fashion, and I thought it was going to be a big office and a big operation. So I had prepared for the worst. Got it. And when I got there, and it was a small team, I think Eve was wearing slippers, just walking around her house. Yeah. She was so chill, and so I was like, okay, fantastic.
Yeah. Okay, got it. Because when I first started the business, I first started a business, it was just me and I was in my mate's spare bedroom when I first moved back to New Zealand. But then our first kind of office was my apartment next door to this. And so the first couple of staff that we had, we worked at a home, and I still remember thinking I still remember them telling me Stan, it's still pretty nerve wracking. This is our boss's house that we're in, working. And when, this is a funny story when Libby started with us. Libby was our third employee. And on her first day, I just made a joke, not even thinking. I was just look, when you come in the morning, don't come in before 9. We don't start before 9. Just come in at 9. Because if you come in time before 9, Claire will probably be walking around naked. Yeah. And I just do an offhand comment, joking. She didn't know who Claire was. Oh. She just thought she worked for us. So she thought, oh, fuck, is my new boss just fucking his staff?
Oh, no.
Or something what's going, she was just oh, no, what have I got myself into? Honestly, she didn't find out for a week that Claire was, 1, my wife, and 2, that was my house. She figured out it was my house pretty fast, but then she was what the fuck? And then I realized, shit, if you can't just do that because, for them it's their job.
Yeah.
You know, like, and they were full time. They weren't interns.
Yeah.
They're like full time salaried positions, right? She used to work for Facebook.
Wow, crazy. Now she's in your apartment.
She's in my apartment working, right? So I was like, man, I gotta like temper back. I still haven't got good at tempering my jokes. No, I'm still fucking terrible.
That's who you are.
That's who I am. I'm really bad at it, and I'm probably gonna like if we get to like proper corporate level, I'm definitely gonna kick
when you have
out of
HR.
CEO.
Yeah, sorry, but you're probably going to be fired from
I
your
am
position.
100% getting fired. So yeah. So tell me, okay, so you started. I mean, you went from intern, and obviously, like, where did that move through?
Yeah, so I actually worked for Ea for free for a year.
Yeah.
So I saw the opportunity within her business, not only to learn, but also the potential to grow.
Cool.
And so I came to the end of the 8 weeks and I was so competitive with the other interns. It was like intern wars. Like I was there first every morning. I did the coffee run. I took all the good jobs. Like I wanted to be in her business in some form, in some way in the future.
Yeah.
So I like hustled during those 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And then I used my initiative and sent her an email and just said, look, I'd love if there was a position open. I'd love to work for you.
Yeah.
However, obviously I'm still at uni, only my 2nd year. So if I can still work for you for free, I'd love to keep learning and love to keep helping you.
Yeah,
and that just grew from there over a year.
I love it. I love that. I love the attitude. Like that's what we're like. I mean, we love free labor. Everyone loves free labor,
Right?
But also, like, it is because you're at uni anyway, right? So what are you doing at uni? You're trying to learn.
Exactly. That was my thing too. Is I in my brain thought I'm paying to be at uni to learn, and I'm going to a job to be expected to be paid when I don't know what the fuck I'm doing yet. Like I may as well go to these jobs, work for free. It actually works more in my favor than it does in theirs because I'm learning invaluable skills uni
100%.
cannot teach me.
Exactly, right? Like, I even think of it sometimes with the AUT internships that was yours AUT?
No, so I just did it straight through.
Okay.
Yeah.
So AUT, their internships where they got to go do these for a whole semester.
Yeah.
It's like you're paying the university to come do an internship with me. You know, where it's like you
Crazy,
could just go do an internship.
Right.
Like Abdul, who did one with us, he just did it off his own bat.
Yeah, nice.
He wasn't even at uni. He's just
really?
like,
Good on him.
he's just like, no, and he's got a job now because he was so
nice.
fucking good.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I really love this conversation. So like how, like from a, university perspective and doing this job for free, were you doing anything else? Did you have to do anything other work or you just living at home?
Yeah, I was a lifeguard.
Okay,
so
cool.
I worked
Love
at
it.
Papakura Pools.
Oh, I'd love it.
I was a lifeguard there,
Yeah.
yes. And that was how I was making money.
Yeah.
I was maxing out my student resources that I could
it.
and then working for free for a year as well.
I got it.
Yeah.
So how many hours were you sort of doing as lifeguard?
Oh, probably 10 to 12 a week.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I'd work
Yeah.
in the weekends.
Yeah.
I'd pick up some 5 a.m. shifts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
So and you still lived at home with parents and stuff then?
Yes, I did. Yeah, at the time.
So I like this conversation because people think, I mean, look, you obviously live at home. Not everyone can live at home, go to uni, do a thing. But I think like most people in New Zealand, there's like a lot of people in New Zealand at least can have that situation.
Exactly.
Whereas we get a lot of slack for when we talk about this. Like if this clip goes up, everyone's like, oh, fuck, she's privileged. She's probably got rich parents and do all this stuff. But it's like at the end of the day, like I didn't have rich parents and I could have done it.
Exactly.
Like you got to prioritize. Like how did you know that it would pay off?
Yeah, great question. I think I looked at Ea and where her life was at and what she was doing. And I knew from early on in that internship that I wanted to be a business owner at some point, just from watching and observing her during the time. And I looked at kind of the New Zealand landscape as a whole. And also at the time I interned at a few agencies and things like that. And I didn't really like the environment as much as I liked the small business environment because I got to work directly with her.
Yeah.
I did a couple of agencies where it could have been like in-store sampling and all that sort of stuff. And it was fine to a degree, but I wasn't really learning because I was doing the shit of the shit jobs. And I get you have to do that. But I had this internship and this internship. I was learning so much from Ears over this one. So I knew that that was the direction I wanted to go in.
Yeah, good. And it obviously paid off. So you did that year. What happened?
Yes. So she actually had Explosive Social at the time, like I said, a few clients here and there. She had a girl who was pregnant going on maternity leave for 6 months and she needed someone to take over her clients. So I was still only 20, very young. And this girl going on maternity leave would have been like 27, 28, had worked in the marketing space for a while, had worked at Lux with a few of E's other companies. And so I was handed all of her clients when she went on maternity leave. And honestly, that's where I like developed anxiety. It was awful. It was so hard. I was thrown in the deep end.
Account management sucks.
Oh my God. And I just wasn't prepared for it at all. Like, because I hadn't worked with the girl who I was taking her job. She worked from home.
Got it.
And so I'd only worked in-house. I hadn't really done much external agency sort of stuff. And that first week I was getting like texts at 8 p.m. at night. And I'm like, what is this life? What's going on? But it prepared me so well for what was to come.
It's so funny you say that. Like, you kind of like agreeing. Like,
So that literally happened last week with the with the guys.
Yeah. No one, like, people look at the account managers and think it's all glorious and glamorous, but then like you actually see what these guys have to put up with, and you're like, nah, no thanks.
It's insane. You do become used to it after a while.
Of course.
I think, in the first couple of weeks, being 20, never having experiences before, I was just like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
But once I kind of got into the swing of it, and when the reward comes as well, like when you execute like a cool campaign or you've got like an amazing social strategy, it's like the high is so worth it.
Yeah.
But it is a lot.
It is so much. And I think like it says a lot about you for you saying you could get used to it, because some people can't.
No.
And some people will never.
Yeah.
You know, so like I think there's a few people now in our team who actually applied for account manager roles, and we gave them other roles. Because I was like, you're not
built for it, babes.
And then it's funny because now you talk to them like, thank you so much for not making me account manager. Like they're just like, there's no way I would have done this.
Yeah.
You know, like, and like this guy like could have easily like put his hand up to do him, and we would have like, because he's internal audit, there's no way he's an account manager. He does enough of clients because he's been around, he knows it so much.
Yeah.
But like you just don't want to do it, eh? Like I don't want to do it.
I'd rather do other stuff. Like I could do it like
you could
probably
do it.
Not to the best level. I'd be able to do it.
You could do it, but you wouldn't want to deal with all the...
Nah.
Because like certain personalities, and like Connor's probably one of them, he could do it. He's got the ability, but like the anxiety, I don't think would ever go away from him. He would never let it be out. You'd never be able to switch off.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to switch off.
No.
No.
You'd never be able
I'll
to
just
switch
keep
off.
doing it because I'll just keep going.
You would quadruple check everything for every single client at all times. Like he does it now.
I don't think you do switch off though as an account manager. Like I said this on my own podcast. I said, I've not had a day or a night where I haven't had to check a social account, check an email, check text. Sometimes before I go to bed, probably 3 or 4 nights a week, I'm not checking my own messages, my own social. It's all my client stuff.
Yeah.
And it's been like that since I started. And I'm not complaining because I fucking love it and I do it to myself.
Yeah.
But it's never ending.
I love it. So we're going to get there. I want to go. So you did this maternity cover.
Yes.
Like take me through. Keep getting me through until Savvy Social.
Yeah.
Get me all the way.
So after the maternity cover, I was finishing my 3rd year of uni.
Cool.
And Ia sends me an email one day. I was still kind of working for her, but very part-time, just based on the hours that she needed.
Yeah.
At this point, she had Celebration Box she just sold, and she was looking for her next thing. So she emails me the link to a website and just goes, hey, Bri, I'm starting a new business. It's called Title Here. Do you want to be my marketing manager? And links me through to this like basic template website. And at the time, I was living my best life. Uni had just finished. It was in December. I was traveling heaps. I was like really trying to just like live this life because I knew I was about to be locked in next year in a full-time job and a full-time role.
Makes sense.
And so when that came through, it just all kind of fell into my lap. Luckily, although I had put in a lot of hard work.
Yeah, of course. It didn't fall in your lap.
Yeah.
You earned it.
I did. So the timing worked out really well.
Yeah, it was good.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I worked for her January, we started, and then that was the year of COVID, 2020.
Yes.
So we had a few delays in launching Title.
Yeah.
Ia had me on a full-time contract, 40 hours a week, and she could not fill up that time, nor could she probably afford to pay someone to work on a business that's not launched yet.
Yeah.
So that's when she reached out to Edna with Ed and I Body, and she said, hey, look, I've got this full-time staff member.
Yeah.
I don't really know what to do with her at this point. I need 40 hours a week, so I'm paying her to do. So would you like to take her on for 2 days a week? She's a gun. She's great.
Yeah.
You'll love her. And the timing was perfect for Edna.
Cool.
So she said yes.
Love it.
And the
That's
rest
how
is
that
history.
happened.
Yeah.
Got it. Tell me about that then. Like, tell me about that journey and what that turned into.
Yeah. So now, fast forward, I'm a shareholder and head of marketing with Ed and I Body.
Yep.
So I've been working for Edna ever since that date in 2020.
Cool.
So it's over 4 years now, which is crazy. The good thing about that time I spent on both businesses, it was about 6 months. They had really different companies. One was a consumable, people were coming back to buy it.
Yeah.
We had a really high return customer rate.
Yeah.
Whereas Title I saw as more of like a one-off purchase. I don't want to say a fad product, but like it was an easy sell, right?
Yeah.
You deliver someone an ad of a gorgeous girl with amazing hair.
Yeah.
The conversion on that was pretty easy.
Got it.
Whereas skincare, because it's so saturated, it's a lot harder. So I got to watch them both run two like very different businesses.
Cool.
And that was amazing to learn both of those.
What was the difference from firstly operations and secondly a marketing that you saw between the two?
The marketing was relatively similar because it was the same demographic,
Got it.
but the messaging was very different. So with Ed and I, with a skincare result-driven business, it's all about the outcome, the ingredients, what it can do for you, testimonials, reviews, all that sort of stuff. Whereas Title, like I said, it was very like really good content, sold the product. You didn't need to say much more.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. And then operationally for those two things, because it's very different with like repeat customers and filling orders and you're getting to know customers probably too. What was the difference in the operations with those two? Did you see much of that? Like,
Yeah, well, I was packing all the orders. For
yeah,
both of
well,
them.
I know, and then I seen you guys do it on your socials.
Yeah,
but like, what about
yeah.
with Tidal? Like, how into the operation was it, and how did they differ?
Yeah, so it was interesting looking at both the businesses. We went from doing everything in-house operationally, so packing orders, customer service, everything we did. And it started off with both of them, just me and them, packing orders, doing customer service.
Yeah.
Then Air eventually got a 3PL, which worked really well.
Yeah.
So when we took that switch, it was amazing for me because my focus went from packing the orders 4 hours a day to now I could go more into the marketing side, email marketing, influencer marketing, all that good stuff.
Yeah, nice. What do you think was like for both of them, were a moment in the marketing that you're like, fuck, that was cool?
So for Tidal here, we actually, I'm not sure if Air told this on the podcast she came on. When we first started, we made the mistake of buying an Instagram account. We can reflect back and go, that probably wasn't the best thing.
Interesting, yeah.
But it had 400,000 followers.
Yeah.
We brought it was over 10, 12 grand.
Yep.
And it got shut down very quickly.
Oh.
Yeah, so within like maybe 2 or 3 weeks, it was gone. The whole account was gone. We'd switched obviously the username over, started to share our content, and then the account got taken down.
Why was it?
Completely. I think it's because it had a history of many different usernames. It had been like 9 accounts before we bought it.
Interesting.
And yeah, at the time, I think it was just a social proof, right? It's like you find a business, heaps of followers, amazing. And so we learned very quickly after that, okay, no, we can't do this again. We have to build up a community on our own. But we did a big giveaway with a girl called Francesca from Too Hot to Handle. She was like the it girl on the show.
Yeah, okay.
She came off the show. We booked her for a giveaway, and overnight, so in 12 hours, we got 75,000 followers from that.
Yeah.
In 2024, I would be like, that's not the way to grow an account. But back in 2020, 2021,
for sure.
it worked so well.
Yeah.
And from that, we gained such good social proof, such good brand trust.
Yeah.
So back then, at the start, when Tidal was in its infancy, that was like a huge achievement for us.
You know what? I reckon it's like not far away from that being a good strategy again. Like I think like the current strategies that like we've obviously utilized and other people, there's fatigue sitting in.
Yes.
And I think like people aren't getting actually anything out of their followership. Whereas like at least with a giveaway or something there, there's like a chance of getting something, like it's a lottery almost.
Very true.
At least there's something. So I don't think it's time's not. I think you're right. Like right now, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
I reckon it's like 6 months away from that being the right strategy.
And things like this do come back around.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Even like some of the current strategies that you see now still like repeat, like they are things that used to be that just they didn't happen so fast because the algorithms didn't work the same.
Yeah, and I think with that big giveaway, like it was our ideal demographic. So we were just going into the US market as well. Most of our followers were based in the US. They were all girls. And so when we did that giveaway, we knew, okay, great, we've got 2 weeks that it's running for. How can we convert them from people who just want to win a prize to actual loyal buying customers?
Yeah.
And so we had a really in-depth plan over that time to try and convert as many of them as we could.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What did that look like from a in that initial piece? Like, right, don't give me all the full details, but in that first initial like 75,000 that came through, like how much of that converted into sales in that first bit?
Hardly any.
Yeah.
Everyone just wanted to win
a prize. You know what? I was hoping that was the answer because this is what we talk about. It means nothing. It's time and market.
It is. Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And two, like, you think about it, when people see your brand for the first time in your business, although the product was an easy sell, at that time, their main focus is winning a prize. So we had a really strong content strategy.
Yeah.
We did things like second chance draws to get them on our email list. Like we did a lot of things to nurture them, to build them up. And we actually saw hardly any follower drop off after that, given we looked after them so well for those 2 weeks.
Yeah, interesting. I really enjoy hearing that because it makes my theories right. That like, because what you do is you get a lot of people go, we get customers who are coming in and like, we'll do a thing and then we'll be able to sell all these people shit. And I'm like, no, like it doesn't.
It's not how it works.
It doesn't work like that. But what it does is it gives you somewhere to build from.
It does.
It's like the foundation piece, right?
Yes.
But you, like you just said, you had a bunch of content and stuff planned.
Yeah.
You had that plan like all up ready to go, or did you respond to stuff?
So our strategy with Tidal was a really high volume of UGC content. We did so much micro influencer gifting. I probably messaged like half the population of New Zealand with a message like, hey babe, do you want a free waiver? It was just relentless how much we did.
Oh, but they worked so well.
It worked so well. So not only was it like opinion leaders in their friend group, but the content we got localized content with Kiwi accents, Aussie content with Aussie accents, US content, and it was an easy product too for people to use. Yeah. And a lot of the time we said, you don't even have to post, just give us the content. We will share it to our audience.
Yeah. And then they get some free shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I love it. Especially, I still think it's such a strong strategy because there's so many micro influencers. They're just so grateful
Yeah.
to be given shit.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
It's like our team when our team gets sent stuff. Like Joni's like kind of like doesn't give a fuck. But like everyone else, there'll be like curly sauce gets in, and I was like, oh my god, we got curly sauce. It's like you don't even like spicy food.
People
Like,
love it.
Yeah, it's still in my pantry.
people just love free
People love
shit.
free shit. Yeah, in any sense of the word.
It's like whenever the Red Bull girls come by, and you guys are all like fiends for it. Like, oh my
Right.
god, free stuff.
Right? Like
Yeah.
you buy it for $3 or it's like, no, it's free, even better.
It's better. I'm gonna drink it. I'll never drink it ever, but I will now. I love that. I think it's a smart. I still think for a lot of brands, like, especially like brands who are in the 7-figure range and they've built it through grit and like just determination, that they still have a real big play there.
Yeah.
Like they just don't operate it enough,
Yes.
which it's kind of a good thing for those who are doing it, because again, when you do anything too much, it becomes like not as effective.
100%.
But I think there's still a massive space for it. Hardly anyone's doing it.
Yeah.
Especially in New Zealand.
I think the interesting thing too now, and you guys would notice this as well, is there was a big shift probably around that time where people stopped following brands. They didn't really give a shit about brands.
Yep.
I feel like 2017 to like 2020, it was very brand heavy. People
Yep.
did enjoy content from brands
Yep.
and like following that page. But now we've obviously seen a big shift towards creators and face of. So to grow an account, a business account, especially in 2024, I'd not be surprised if that does come back around.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think the before 2020, before the TikTokification of things happened, I think the brands just had figured it out. They just figured out how to pay to play, and you knew that. Like Instagram and Meta had become purely pay to play at that 18 to 20.
Yeah,
And so the reason why the brand accounts were doing what they were doing is because they were just paying to play.
exactly right.
And most of them were paying to play anyway. And then the personal accounts couldn't keep up because like as an influencer, you're not going to go and spend $100,000 a month on ads to try compete. Like you just wouldn't do it.
No.
So, and whereas now it's different now, like influencers can do whatever they can all crush it now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think the thing is that, or at least what we're trying to prove to businesses is that you can do it too. Like
100%.
you actually don't need the influencer.
Yeah.
I mean, you there's still a strategy with them,
Yeah.
but you can also become one yourself.
100%. And the algorithm too has blessed us as brands
Yeah.
to get in front of more people. I feel like before TikTok and before Reels, it was so hard to get in front of people. So you did it through giveaways, influencers. Like there had to be something to connect you with the customer. But now, although the algorithm does my head in half the time, now it's a great way to serve an audience and to get in front of people.
You just got to make good content.
Yeah,
That's all it
exactly.
is. Like, and we'd say that a lot as a team is like, if it didn't work, it was shit. I don't care what you think about it. It was just shit. Just make it better.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like once you can understand that, like, when we say that to clients, it's like we say to them, it's like quite liberating. Because now you're like, well, it's not the algorithm.
Yeah.
You can blame it all you want, but actually, if you just take the ownership,
You're not shadow banned.
yeah, you're not
That's
fucking
the worst
shadow
one. And you're
banned.
like, it's not the algorithm,
No.
it's your content.
Yeah, your content sucks, you know? And I think if you can accept that, then actually it's easier.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, oh, so you're saying that I don't have to try and get Zucks to like fix his algorithm. I can just make better content.
Exactly right.
Saying you can actually do. Yeah. So I think that's quite good. Okay. So that Ed and I journey has been the majority of the last few years.
Yes.
And that's been like pretty solid, right?
Yeah. So what happened after Ia took me back? So Ia took me back full time.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize.
After around 6 months. So Tidal got on like a good trajectory.
Yeah.
I left Edna for those 2 days, went back to Ia, but I continued to work for Edna for free.
Okay.
So she actually went on a TV show, CTI. So she was away from her business for 4 weeks.
Yep.
I wasn't that much involved at the time. I was just focused on Ia with her companies. And then Edna came back, and because she was face off, she was on her stories every single day. She was the driver in her business. Her being away for that period of time put the business in a bit of a shit spot.
Yeah.
It's like, imagine you leaving your business for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And although it was great for her personal profile, and it did actually work out for the business when the show aired, she was in a real tough spot. So she messaged me and said, hey babe, I just need some help. If you are willing to and you're able to, I'd love you can work for me one day after work from Ia, come to my place and let's rebuild this together. And I thought that was a really exciting challenge. Like she told me where she was at. And I thought, why not? I'm not doing anything on a Tuesday from 6 till 10. I'll come round. So she got me dinner. We worked on the business and then eventually rebuilt it bigger and better than it was before.
Cool. And is that how you earned your piece?
Yes. Yeah.
Got it.
So I did that for probably, oh God, it would have been over a year. It would have been well into the next year. And then we ended up bringing on another staff member who was getting paid. And then Edna thought, it's probably not fair if Bree's still here every Tuesday hustling and I'm paying this new staff member. So she said to me, obviously to thank you for your time, here's 5% of the business.
Amazing.
And
Awesome.
Like, fuck yes.
That's good. That's amazing.
Oh, it's so worth it.
Yeah, shit,
It's so worth it.
I mean, that's absolutely worth it because, like, you know, equity is one of those things that, like, a lot of people don't understand, and that, I mean, it could be worth 20 years of salary one day, right?
Yes.
And especially the way she's going, like, she's
Exactly.
I mean, she's not slowing down.
She's not.
You know, like, so it could be worth shitloads for you.
Exactly.
You know, and depending on what she wants to do with it, whether or not she exits or builds an empire, depending on which, you know, people change and who knows where she goes.
Yeah.
5% is potentially way better than any salary you could have been paid.
Absolutely. And I was still learning. Like when I was working for her over that 12 months or whatever it was, I was watching her rebuild a business from the ground up. Like how valuable is that for me for one day when I do want to do an e-com business? I've watched something be built again from the start.
Yeah. What do you think was the biggest lesson from that point?
So many things.
Okay.
I think we just showed the value of Edna in the business.
Okay.
We actually had been advised at the time by our ad agency, hey, look, your business is way too based on your founder.
Yeah.
Pull her back.
Yeah.
Start to use UGC. Start to use other faces.
Yeah.
Start to focus on the products and the ingredients
Yeah.
more than Edna. And
Yeah.
that was the worst advice we could have ever got.
Just about to ask.
It was
who
the worst
fuck was that
advice.
agency?
I know. I'll
Yeah.
tell you afterwards.
Okay.
But at the time, because they were the experts,
Yeah.
we were like, okay,
Yeah.
great. So that's where we were heading anyway before she went on the show. We were pulling her back a little bit. But I think it just kind of solidified for us the value of her in the business as a trusted figure. And even like the look that Edna has and the way she looks after herself, it's very inspirational, very inspiring.
Yeah.
And there's not many other Kiwis who could have got content-wise who can do better than that. So when she came back, we were like, fuck that advice, fuck what they said.
Yeah.
We're going to change agencies. So we
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
And we actually found a really good freelancer initially who gave
Awesome.
us way better advice.
Good.
But yeah, just realizing the value she had in her own business.
Yeah, that's amazing. I can't believe that they gave. I can believe it because I've met lots of these agencies who think that, and it's like a real common thing I get about. So we obviously run a lot of personal brands as a business,
Yes.
and one of the hesitancies with companies like doing personal brands is like, oh, you know, but I don't want the company to be relying on me,
Oh,
and it's
God.
like, fuck, man. Do you know how much Tesla's worth?
Right?
Like, the fuck is
So
your problem?
true.
Like, I don't understand what you're trying to say. Like, just because you're the founder doesn't mean your business value will go away if you go away.
Exactly.
Like, you can sell it.
Exactly.
And it's going to sell for more because more people are going to know it. Yeah, it's the dumbest advice.
It was so bad.
Yeah.
This is also an agency that told us all our ads should be discount ads. So at the time we were running like every ad was 20% off a luxury skincare product. Like it made absolutely no fucking sense.
Discounts are dumb.
So from this point forward, we just backed ourselves and we work like off a gut feeling as well.
Yeah.
And everything we do now, it's like not based on advice. Would we take advice? But we're like, what do we feel is right for our business?
Yeah.
And then we go with that.
That's good. That's so good. I love that. That's such good advice for people who are watching this. They're like, don't discount shit if you don't have to.
Yes.
And also use your face.
Oh, and no one knows your business like you.
No
No
one.
one can vouch for your business the way that you can. You might get like a really good influencer or someone who can talk really well about your business. But at the end of the day, you are your number one spokesperson.
Yeah.
And the fact they were trying to get rid of that is just wild to get my head around now.
It's so dumb. Did they, like, let me ask, did they want you to get rid of it and put the product in its place, or were they happy for you to put other people in its place?
A bit of both.
Okay.
So this was back in, I think it was 2021 when right now I feel like the focus is like outcome driven focus. But
Yeah.
back then it was very like ingredients driven,
Yeah.
product driven, like beautiful, clean, like lifestyle shots. That was working for some clients. So they just saw what was working for other people and tried to
Yeah.
apply that to our business. And we had a few UGC
Yeah.
videos and stuff in there. But most of it was like, you're New Zealand made, push that. You're vegan, push that. And no, looking back,
features and
we're like,
benefits,
no.
Yeah. I mean, the outcome driven space, especially in that sort of stuff, makes sense. And a founder story. Always founder story.
Gold.
As if you wouldn't do founder story. That's dumb.
Right?
Okay. Anyway, stop shitting on other agencies. Okay. So then fast forward. So now, so then you went back. So you went back to Title. Then you went back to Ed and I. Now became part shareholder in it. You've done a couple of years. You've hired some people. Where are you at now?
So looking at that time, I was still working full-time for Ia.
Yeah.
I had started to focus more on her marketing agency.
Cool.
So Explosive Social. naturally being one of the first employees there, I think you just work your way into a manager position.
Yeah.
Although I'm not really built to be a manager, I'm very creative and I like that side of marketing. But naturally, because I'd been there the longest, it was like, hey, Brie, here's a GM role. Here's a head of growth role.
Got it.
And that was amazing. But I don't know what the fuck I was doing. Like I've got a team of 14 at one point.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. All these people are looking at me and relying on me. I'm petrified. Like this is not what I want to do. I really miss the marketing side of it.
Cool.
So I actually took a role at a company called Stolen Girlfriends Club.
Oh, yeah.
I was there for 10 weeks.
Cool.
And then I went back to air
Okay.
after those 10 weeks.
Yep. Didn't like it?
No, I think I'd gone from obviously being in quite like a high up role where my opinion was super valid.
Yeah.
And going into Stolen, it was like kind of rebuilding my trust again. And I could have done that. And that's what you should like. I could have stayed there for 2 to 5 years, worked my way back up, but having all the autonomy that I had at the previous role.
Yeah, that's tough.
And then going into a role where I'm like, do this, do that kind of thing. I struggle with it. Yeah. And Ia really missed me in her business too. She offered me like a 20K pay rise to go back. And I was like, cool, I get a great role back. I'm working with Ia again, who I love working with. Yeah. And I've got kind of that sense of independence again.
Cool. Yeah. Got it.
So
okay. So where are we then now? So you went back in what year?
Yeah. So I went back in 2022.
Okay, cool.
And I stayed for exactly a year.
Yeah.
So at the time when I went back, I was general manager of Explosive Social.
Yeah.
So good team, good vibes, really enjoyed it. Yeah. But then I kind of had this urge inside me that it's time to start to do something for myself. Yeah. And also during that time, I was still working for Edna every Tuesday from 6 till 10. And I knew the opportunity with that business and the growth it could have if I could dedicate some more time to it. And so last year, so 2023, in Feb, I went out on my own and started a little hustle called Savvy Social.
Yeah. And so tell me about that, Savvy Social. What is it? What are you trying to do with it? What's the goals?
So right now, Savvy Social...
And actually also, sorry to cut you
fine.
off, like how does that play? Like, because I know Explosive Socials, there's some stuff that's happened there. So like, how did that play out from that? Because like, it seems like you just went straight direct competition.
Yeah.
Because I know some stuff's happened, but like, tell me that story first.
So basically with Savvy Social, it's just my front, I guess, for the fact I'm like a freelance marketer. It's just the name I kind of go by, the Instagram account that I have. I knew quite quickly I didn't want to start a big agency operation. I wanted to have a couple of years of just being me and working with clients I wanted to work with. Like with agency life, we weren't very selective with the clients we took on. It's about numbers, clients on the books. We've got 14 people to pay. So I was really excited to kind of start fresh, keep Edna on. I had another client I worked on the side as well. So have them to pay my rent, that will cover it, and then go out and get some more clients and just be a freelance marketer for a little bit.
Okay, cool.
Get rid of the manager stuff, the responsibility, and it was really refreshing.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so tell me, what does that look like? Like, tell me this journey. So this was February last year.
Yes.
Cool.
Yep. So since then, I went down the route of like smaller clients on smaller retainers, but doing like a whole bunch more work. Okay. So I did that for the first 6 months. I had about 11 or 12 clients, just myself at one point. Yeah, wow. So I had like one intern who was helping me, just myself and 12 clients. So that was crazy. And then last year in October, I was approached by a company called Trademark Live and Audiology, and they like a big business. I was looking at them. I'm like, you guys have like over 150,000 followers across all the different accounts. Like this is huge. Yeah. And so I just pitched myself. They were talking to other agencies and some pretty big players. Yeah. And I just sold myself, what I could do, my personality. Yeah. And they took me on. Cool. So I had to drop a whole bunch of clients to service that. So I think from that point, I dropped 7 clients. Yeah, wow. And just focused Trademark Live, a few other smaller ones, and Ed and I. And that was the best decision I made.
Yeah. No. When was that, sorry?
That was October last year.
Okay, got it. And so does that take us through to now? Like, where are we now?
Yeah, so they had me on a 3-month trial. Yeah. So it was quite risky for me. Yeah. I dropped a whole bunch of clients. I said, sorry, but I'm kind of going in a different direction. If the 3-month trial hadn't worked out, I would have been in the shit. I probably would have had to go back to those clients like, hey, like, do you want to work together again? Space is available. But thank God it worked out. So I came into their business, introduced like interview style content, face off sort of stuff. And they saw the results over that summer around just like the engagement as a whole. Cool. I think we got over 5 million views in like an 8-week space, which for them was amazing. So they brought me on now for 12 months, which is great. Cool. So now they're my biggest client. Love it. Working on them. And then I've got Ed and I still, and then I've got 2 or 3 other consulting clients I work on.
Love it. And you had some like pretty good success with them this year, right?
Yes.
Like you had some pretty cool campaigns go off.
Crazy shit. Yeah. So we took one of their TikTok accounts, so the trademark account from 300 followers to 120,000 followers in 4 days.
Yeah, nice.
It was hectic.
Yeah, it was a pretty funny campaign. We enjoyed watching it.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Tell me like what that was like for you, because like that was like one of your probably like out on your own, your biggest thing, right?
Yeah. I was really scared because obviously putting your face to a business, if you do anything dumb at any point, it reflects on the business. Yeah. But if they fuck anything up in their business, then it reflects on me.
Yeah.
And I was a little bit apprehensive to put my face forward because I was nervous how it would be received, but also is this going to be something like long term that I'm going to want to do for the next, you put your face to a business, like you probably shouldn't be leaving in the next like 2 to 4 years.
Exactly.
But I knew that this was really the only strategy for quick growth at the time.
Yeah.
So when we did the video though, I actually didn't set them the 100K target. Yeah. That was them. That wasn't me. They're very smart men though. So I feel like they kind of knew that would get traction.
Yeah.
I was just starting to do videos of myself, funny sort of stuff, skits to just get the engagement up. Yeah. Do like face-off sort of content. And then when they ran with that, I thought in my head, fuck yes, this is fantastic. This will hopefully go off. And it did.
Yeah, nice. What was it like from like a like as it was going? Like what was that dopamine hit like?
Oh, insane. It's sick. It is actually just like you can't even describe it. It's an insane feeling. And I think I was nervous too, like the amount of views we were getting. I was like, oh my God, there's going to be negative comments. There's going to be hate comments. We didn't get any of that. No. Everyone was so positive. It was so well received. Yeah, I look at that time and it was probably the most exciting week I've had in years. Like it was so much fun. And I'll just call them up and be like, guys, do you know where we're at today? And one of my bosses didn't even have TikTok. So he wasn't even watching. So I would just be like, guess, what do you think we're at? He'd be like 7,000. I'm like, no, we're at 30,000.
That's cool, eh?
Yeah, it was crazy. Good is that?
It was pretty funny. It was a pretty crazy week too, because to watch it, like, because we were sort of following along and seeing it all happen and blow up, and like we obviously had a few of those ourselves, and it's like whenever the account manager who's on it, like they don't sleep.
No, you don't.
Sam's, like they just don't sleep.
No,
they're just up all night. Was that the same for you?
Well, you don't want to sleep because you want to keep watching the followers go up. How bad is that? So unhealthy.
Just like the swipe refresh.
Oh my God, it was insane. There was one night where I think it was the Wednesday night. I went to bed at 30,000 followers and I woke up and it was 60,000 followers. Yeah. So overnight it obviously hit like the UK or the US or somewhere else. Yep. And we had 2 DJs from Tomorrowland who commented. Okay. So I woke up and I'm like, these 2 famous as hell DJs are commenting on my video. So I like made video replies to what they were saying and like tried to pump out more content. Yep. But that was crazy. Like I don't remember anything else from that week in my life. It was just like everything was just focused on that.
Does it since that's happened, like how has that affected like their campaign? Like what have you had to do because of that?
Oh, it's been the biggest shift and the biggest pivot. I'm so time poor already. And so TikTok was not a channel we were hugely focused on. Okay. I mean, they didn't even have a TikTok for Trademark Live when I started. Yeah. So now the hard thing is the resource, right? And to try service that because TikTok wasn't even on like the requirement list. When I started, it was like Instagram, here's the accounts. It was nothing to do with TikTok. I naturally, being Gen Z, being young, I was like, you need to be on this platform. Like it's fun, it's a vibe. And so the hardest thing for us is trying to maintain that and keep it up because I don't have the time. Yeah. I've got so many other things going on and content is king, man. You've just got to pump out good quality content 100%. And it's been hard to keep up with that. Yeah.
Really were you able to like ask them for more resource? Like they budgets sort of maxed out?
100%. Yeah. It's more a limitation on me than them.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to like find ways of like, because you're on your own, right?
Yeah.
Are you still on your own? Do you still have interns?
No. Just me.
Do you think like let's talk about the future now because that's kind of where I wanted to go and I've just probably just kept prodding you with other questions that's taken up so much time. But anyway, you said you want to keep it quite small for a few years, but how do you think about resourcing for that sort of stuff? Because you're not going to be able to do it all yourself.
I know. I think I'm at a point now where I want to hire and I need to hire, but I'm scared to hire. Yeah. I've been such an independent worker now for over a year and all the campaigns I've worked on, all of my clients, they're so happy. I'm so happy. I'm in a very comfortable spot and I always preach about you need to be uncomfortable to learn and to grow. And I know I need to hire, but finding the right person is really important. And also time-wise as well. So I work 2 days for Edna and that is like non-negotiable. Yeah. Tuesday, Wednesday, we're in the office, we're working together. Cool. I obviously have shares in that business. So that's not like a client I want to get rid of and give away. No. So trying to find the balance for me between growing a personal brand, growing my client accounts, working on Ed and I, It's a lot.
Yeah.
But I think in my mind, the next 12 months, I'll put most of my focus into her business or into our business and into my clients. I think Savvy Social and Her Hustle, my podcast, those are like fun side things.
Yeah.
That's not where my focus is going to lie. So I'll do 12 more months of working on their stuff, getting them to like a really good point, and then I'll probably look at bringing on staff and doing something more full-time with Savvy Social.
Have you thought about like how you utilize like other people to do just like as a freelancers and stuff like that?
I know I need to. I do everything. So I do all the video editing. I do all the content creation, everything I do, like email marketing. Like I'm just spread so thin over so many things. But I like it that way. I'm like, I have control of everything. It's bad. I know I need to outsource.
But you're young and it's like a hard thing to let go.
And I just love working.
He's the same.
Yeah, I just love working. I'm like, I'll be sitting there at like 11 p.m. at night. I'm not tired. I'm like, I'm just going to work. So then I'll just work till 3 a.m. And like, people are like, oh, that's so late. Why are you working? I fucking love it. That's why. Why would I not? I love it.
Oh, absolutely. And you're building something for yourself, right?
Yeah.
You're building something for yourself. I think when it comes to like delegating and like finding those other people to help, like actually I point to him that he's the same, but you've changed a lot in the last little bit. Now you've got your own little team with you, but like initially his like persona was to do the same thing. And I think it's quite natural for most young people.
Yeah.
Especially young people who are driven because you got to where you are on your own bat, right? Like you got there because you hustled.
Totally.
And did what you needed to do. And so you're like, I'm not giving it to you. You're going to fuck it all up.
Yeah,
like, you're not at my pace. Yeah. And I think like that's like, it's a real hard lesson to learn. I was the same when I was the same. I was probably 24 or something when I finally figured it out that I couldn't do that. Yeah. But like, it is about knowing that you're so good, you can fix the fuck ups.
Yeah, true.
You know you could. Like if you give someone something and they fuck it up, you can fix it. Yeah. And you've probably got enough reputation with your clients that you're saying to them like, hey, you know where I'm at. We want to do more here. So you have to give me some lenience right here. Yeah. I have to be able to try bring this other person in. Totally. And I have to give them full responsibility. Otherwise it's not going to work for you. Yeah. And because you've got the good relationship with them, if you say that to them, and you just tell them like, look, any issues, just come and speak to me. I'll fix it. But I need to let this person go. I need to let them try. You know what I mean? Like, and if you've got the relationship with the client, then you can do it. Like our largest client, I mean, I just had a call with her before this and she's saying the same thing to me. Like she gives me feedback. I meet her every week and she tells me like, not that like she has problems with the team, but like anything she thinks like, here's some things that could have went better. Yeah. So then I can fix them, right?
Totally.
I can work with them. But I have the lenience with her to say, Santa, I'm not just going to yell and scream at you. Yeah. I know what you're trying to do. Yeah. I know that you're trying to stay hands off so your team can do it. So I'm going to tell you everything. Right. And so like, I reckon you just have that conversation with them. Yeah. You know? For sure. And just find someone that you can like, that you think, you know what, you are talented enough, but you probably don't know what I know because you haven't been fucking had the boss babes teach you every single thing they know. Like right? you've had an education that most people like would be envious of. Yeah. So you also have to understand that, like, absolutely, you know, like I have to just let them fuck up. For sure. And I fucked up so much when I was like young and an intern and learning. Yeah. So I get it. Yeah. It's just the loss of control is what freaks me out the most. Yeah. But everyone I speak to, like every business owner, they say that loss of control lasts like 4 weeks. And then once that person has picked up those extra responsibilities, it's just like a weight off your shoulders. 100%. Yeah. Like it's the best thing. Like, you know, like I'm probably like, in some parts I'm like I let go of too fast of things. And probably the guys want more info from me. I'm like, you'll figure it out. Like I do this to him all the time. Like,
you're like, great.
I'll like ask him, what time are you leaving somewhere tomorrow? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, I know you know, but you just want me to figure it out.
No, that's good. I like that.
Fuck, I don't know. You find out. But like there's certain people you can do it to. Like I know I can do it to Connor. Yes. Like he's not the same. Like some of the other guys would cry if I did the way I do something to him. But it is Connor also like some people, not just Connor, actually probably about a quarter of our staff. Some people have this like double confirmation thing. Where like they've always got to double confirm things all the time. You're probably pretty similar in hearing your anxiety levels around checking stuff. It's like what he's like.
Totally. I want it to be perfect. I hate any areas where it's like not perfect. And like, and I sit with it for ages. Like if I, like the other day I tagged the wrong artist in a post for socials. Like that's a pretty big fuck up. And the boys were fine about it. They're like, oh, we've done worse. But I sat on that for like 3 days. Yeah. I'm like, I'm meeting this artist this weekend. He knows I'm the social girl. Like, how embarrassing is that? Do I apologize? Like, I just hate little things like that. Yeah. So that's just the sense of loss of control.
It's pretty normal. Yeah. Like, it's a pretty normal personality type.
Yeah.
And so, like, I'm like purposely an asshole to that personality type.
Ouch.
Like him, like what he's just saying, like he knows I know.
Yeah.
But he's like, why don't you just give me the answer so much faster if you just tell me? But it's like, because I won't always be there.
Yeah.
You know, like I won't always be around.
True.
And so you need people to be able to just be independent of themselves, but also to get in the structure where I'm set, I'm ready, I'm confident. Like you have to have like that, because like I won't always be around. And sometimes like Connor like will own his own business one day. Who's he going to ask then?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, he's not going to have to confirm with anyone, right?
Yes.
He's going to have his own savvy social
Oh,
whatever he's going to do, you know?
And that was a big learning for me too. It's like you can't turn around to your boss and go, what about this? What about this? Like when it's just yourself, and when you're the kind of person like that, it's like you need that double confirmation. You sit on it for like 3 or 4 days on a decision. Yeah. And I've learned that too in the past year. Is like just make a decision and go with it, because the longer you sit on it, it's too fucking late.
It's too late.
100%.
You know, just make a decision. No decision is the right decision.
Nah.
Just make one and back yourself.
And like, there's that good saying of like, you'll never know the alternative. Like you'll never
I like
know
that.
what else would have happened.
Yeah.
There's just no possible way, right?
Yeah, no, I like that.
And people can speculate and you can use hindsight and all you want, but actually you don't know. You actually don't know if that's what would have happened.
So true.
So just run with it, right?
Yeah.
I guess to tell me, like, I want to go future focused now. Like I'm wary of the time and I don't want to miss out. Tell me, where is Savvy Social going? Like, what are you hoping to do? What does Brie want to do?
Great
like, you're
question.
so young and there's so much life ahead.
Yeah.
So like, where are you going?
So right now, actually, my main focus is more so Her Hustle.
Yep.
So Her Hustle is a podcast that I've started.
Yep.
It is so in its infancy. Essentially, all I'm trying to do is build my personal brand and create a community. It's this whole like-minded woman, but that's what I want to do. In my previous role with Ia, she has a company called Girls in Business, and I ran an event for her under that. It was 650 people, huge event, incredible speakers. Like, it was just probably a career highlight for me running that. So with Her Hustle, starting with a podcast, I'm just trying to get my name out there. I'm trying to create a space where it's like inspirational content.
Yeah.
So here's my journey, here's my learnings, but also relatable. Because like I say, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing half the time. And so many people my age are the same. So I want people to understand that you don't have to have it figured out. I think we always use social media as such like a highlights reel. Like, here's my life, here's all the amazing things. So guilty of it. But with this podcast, I get real raw and honest about the muck-ups, about mistakes I've made in all areas too, like business, marketing, but like dating, friendships, all that sort of stuff. I cover all topics, because in our 20s, we don't niche down into these little areas and these different things. We really do it all. And so that's my big focus at the moment.
Cool. So the podcast is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Nice. And to what end?
To what end is I want to start to do events like I did for Girls in Business. I want to do online courses. I really also am big on like manifestation and mindfulness. And I think that's a growing topic of interest. And I have down the road some ideas around an e-commerce business for that particular niche. So it's basically just building a personal brand, building a community who are interested in coming to events, being part of something bigger than themselves. Having that sense, I think, of connection is so important. We've gone from COVID, lockdown, everything was online. Now people are just begging to be in person with other people. Like, you think run clubs, like the trend of that. Everyone just wants 100%. In-person connection. So with Her Hustle, that's ultimately the road I want it to go down. Just, it's all about community.
I love
and
it.
That's the goal.
So it's just like a real top of funnel play of just like build the biggest awareness you can for you and that, and then from that be able to do different things with it.
I mean, at the moment, I was saying to Connor before, I've invested like $10,000 of my own money, which at my age is like a lot of money.
A lot of money for your age.
I've got nothing out of it. I don't think I'll make any money from Her Hustle probably in the next year. And I'm fine with that. I'll probably have to invest maybe like another 20 grand to get it where I want it to be. But I know as soon as I have that community who believe in me, who have bought into my story, I get guests on who are sharing the same stuff. Once I can build that community, you can monetize a community. You can't really monetize like a podcast. It's very hard to do, but community first. And then from that point, once they're bought into the story, then that's when I can start to work on everything else.
Oh, absolutely. Like this podcast is an example. Like, people know I do it. It's got around. The people who know. Yeah. And that's all we needed it for. The brands know, the influencers know, the creators know, the people who need to know. The general public don't know. And they don't need to know. Because actually we didn't do this to be like the viral thing. Like we I mean, obviously we want to make better and better content out of it. We're not just like naive by that, but like I get like put in the center of the world of stuff. So like brands will come in like, oh, you're the guy. Like, you know, all the other influencers and everyone. Like you talk to everyone, right? Like you've done, what is this, like episode 59 or something?
Wow.
Yeah, 58, I think.
58.
Amazing.
And it's just like, 58 like massive creators from New Zealand, and we're obviously going to be in New York next week. So like the guys are already outreaching to all the New York creators. So like we'll do stuff there. And it's not about making money on the podcast. Like never.
Yes.
It's never about that. The amount of deals that come in because of people know us from here, that's the community. The community, because our community was like quite particular in that I needed it to be like marketing managers and creators, right? That world. And so because of that, we get a lot of people coming in, and like that community is forming around us, and they're coming in going, oh, so you got this agency? Like, can you guys do some work for us?
Love it.
Right? There's way more money than you're going to get paid for producing a podcast.
So true.
You know what I mean?
So true. Yeah. It's just kind of like the starting point, getting yourself out there. Because even before your team reached out, like I've seen you online for so many years on TikTok, on Instagram Reels. Like you've been hustling at this for ages, and it's shown in the growth of your business, not directly related to your podcast, but to your agency. It's probably been like such a pivotal point.
Oh, 100%. Like everything we do that stays consistent has helped, and it adds to the wider brand.
Yes.
So like a lot of people will look at our TikTok or Instagram and be like, oh, you guys are so massive, that's where your business comes from. And it just doesn't. Like it's part of it, but it doesn't come from there. Like still most of it comes from my LinkedIn actually.
Oh, wow.
Actually, majority of it still comes through that channel.
Yeah,
it still comes through that channel. But the TikTok and the Instagram all support the same message that the podcast does, that everything else does. Yes. Right? So it's like, it's the brand building bit, and like what it allows people to do is like I love your TikToks, they're funny, but actually like I really just want to have some serious conversation about creators. Okay, cool. Well, watch Stansplaining then.
Exactly.
Or like I really want to get like some marketing case study knowledge stuff. Okay, cool. Subscribe to the newsletter. That's what you get over there. I really want to like understand your business journey. Okay, cool. Well, go on LinkedIn, you know, or my leadership journey or whatever, right? So it's like the audiences are able to like come in at one place and then go, well, who the fuck are these guys? And then they can find the place that they want to land.
That's the best thing I think you can do. Like you've really nailed it there where you've said each channel is a different strategy. I think a lot of businesses, I noticed too, they have the same strategy across every channel. LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, and you're so fucking bored because it's the same stuff. You go on different platforms for different reasons. And when your strategy is the same, you're not going to grow.
No, exactly. Yeah, like our Instagram as an example, like we just didn't really take it seriously for a long time until like Reels didn't work yet. And it wasn't until Joni and I were in New York and both of us like came out one day and we're like, you know, Instagram's working now, right? And she's like, yeah. I'm not like, okay, we need to figure this out. And so we did, and we did the right strategy that we did last year on it. It blew up, took us to 200K.
Amazing.
And then we started to just repurpose again for a bit because it was summer, and then we got back from New York. We got a bit burnt out, and then all year we just like we're pumping shit out because we had a new team actually, and we were figuring out process. And it was about 8 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago when we just made the switch. 8 weeks ago now.
No, yeah.
6 weeks ago,
Yeah,
something like that. 6 weeks ago, I was like, okay, guys, like, okay, we've had our fun. Like, we need to fucking be serious. And so now we've properly split the two, split them up. And we only repurpose videos that are not timely videos. They're not based on a certain event. And only if they worked, you know, if they went off on one platform, then it gets repurposed. But they can't be about a storyline. No. They have to be just individual videos that could cross-pollinate.
Well, that's what I'm struggling to with the trademark TikTok, because I'm doing so much content on there. None of that can be used for Instagram. And no one would probably care on Instagram as much. Nah. But on TikTok, it works well. It works great. So Instagram, it's very like selling tickets. That's the purpose. It's a very conversion-based channel. Once I have more time to put into it, then we could probably grow it in a similar way. But all that stuff that sits on TikTok, there's no way that could be put anywhere else.
You know, like, I think the thing with Instagram is that it's what we saw is that like you can still do similar strategies, but you have to do them to Instagram. Yes. You know, and Instagram actually needs it to be more simpler than TikTok. Okay, so like our current like water bucket thing that we're doing on Instagram, where we're tipping water on Joni's head, is like the very first like, I don't know, 4 weeks was like almost no dialogue, some on-screen text and doing the thing, and it took about 14 seconds. And it was that long to film. It was literally like film, don't cut, ends off, post. As simple as possible. Because like the Instagram audience isn't, they're actually not as sophisticated in understanding video content as what TikTok audience are.
So true.
They're more sophisticated as people because they're probably a little bit older and whatever. But as like their understanding of video content isn't the same. Like the Gen Zs in the office who watch TikTok get videos really well. And then the guys who are on Instagram, they don't get it. That's why they all do like static posts with dark filters on them. Right?
So true.
That's what they all do because that's all they know. but they're just not as sophisticated in video content. So the simpler you can do it.
Yeah.
So I would say like you take similar strategy. You don't have to change it.
Yeah.
But like just dumb it down.
Totally.
Like how can you rip out all the audio?
Yeah, that makes so much sense.
Like how can you make it as dumb as possible? One shot, super simple. The narrative, like the way Joni and I talk about it is like if that first frame could be screenshot and done as a meme, then you've nailed it.
I love that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like Joni was like standing with a bucket of water with like proving to my boss this is a better strategy than his whatever. That's enough. Like the audience goes, okay, she's about to do something here. They get it.
Yeah, for sure.
So there's anticipation for what's going to happen. So like I think Instagram, I think for you especially with those guys, like you can do it.
Yeah.
You can't repurpose.
Exactly.
You have to
Has
dumb
to be
it
a
down.
fresh sort of vibe. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I feel like TikTok allows you to tell a story more.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Instagram will get there. It's just different at the moment.
I think the audience too on TikTok are more wanting to be told a story.
Yeah.
Whereas Instagram, the way people use it is very different.
Yeah.
But on TikTok, it's like, I'm here to be entertained.
Yeah.
Show me something funny. Tell me something cool.
Yeah.
They're more kind of susceptible to that storyline.
Yeah.
Whereas Instagram, I think it's a lot harder. But like you say, it's definitely doable if you dumb it down.
Just dumb it down.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what we found. And then we find all the like super successful strategies on Instagram for fast growth at the moment are super simple. Like you probably, I don't know if you've seen like Tim Nackie's one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, icon.
Yeah, absolute fucking goat in it. And he just dumbed it down. Like there's no need to understand gambling.
Exactly.
All you can understand what's happening. If you don't know blackjack, you get it.
You still get it.
Because
Yeah.
you feel his excitement or his nervousness.
Well, everyone gets the concept of gambling because it's so simple.
Exactly.
You're risking something for a bigger reward, or you lose it all.
Exactly. And everyone knows the house always wins.
Yeah.
Like that concept everyone knows.
Yeah.
So the fact that he went on this unbelievable run was just like
It was
outrageous.
insane.
Oh, it was outrageous.
Like even my friends who were like 25-year-old girls, we were watching it.
Yeah.
We bought into it.
Oh, everyone
when it's
did.
not really anything to do with us at all.
As soon as you put that New Zealand cap on, every single Kiwi
Yeah.
is like,
Every kid
Yes.
is like, go boy, go.
It's
boy.
refreshing to see though, because
It's so funny,
Kiwis don't really create content to that level. Like I don't know if it's a cultural thing, but we're such big consumers.
Yeah.
We're not big creators. So when you see someone doing it well, it was great to see that we actually got behind him.
And also, like, because it was real good about it, it's because he was based in Toronto or whatever
Yeah.
at the time. He got that localized audience of the US, which
yes.
helps because it's a very different thing.
Yes.
Like, we noticed when we were in New York last year, like, your ability to get viewership was easier actually because the localized audience was there.
Yeah. Well, when I posted that first trademark video, I was in Australia and I was like, I swear this is something to do with where I am because I've never had any other client video or like a personal video get out that quickly. Yeah.
There's definitely like that. Your video was like, it hit all the notes.
Yeah.
It hit all the notes. So, you need
Didn't
to
matter
take,
where you were.
You need to take credit that it was just
Okay,
a good
good.
video.
I'm
No,
glad.
it was a good video. I would say that like you're right. The speed at which it could find its people is probably there
it was
because it's like
crazy.
I went to this local audience here, and where were you on the Gold Coast?
Yeah.
And it's festival city, so
Yeah,
like
exactly.
everyone understands Tomorrowland,
Yes.
Tomorrowland out of the Gold Coast. So I think you could have got a faster, rapid approach there. I don't think it would have changed anything.
Okay, good.
I still think like you hit the notes, like you hit. It was simple to understand. People got the dynamic.
Yeah.
There was like the guys were sitting down, you were sort of standing. It was like that
Yeah.
gender, like you were trying to appear bigger,
Yeah.
so that you could see the dynamic between the two, right?
Yeah,
And so
definitely.
everyone wanted to give you the
They did. Everyone backed me.
Everyone
Yeah.
did. It's so easy.
I felt bad for
everyone's
Mitch.
perfect.
He's like, I look like such a dick because he's not. He's the nicest guy. And now I think his personality is starting to come through the content.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, Mitch, you've got to be mean to me again. Like, people don't like it when you're nice. But he's so
I know.
nice.
That's the
I
end
know.
of content.
Yeah. I pretend to be mean.
Yeah, you take it, man. You take a hit.
Nah, fuck. I'm actually a prick. Nah, but like you got to play the dynamics. Like if you're not playing dynamics, it doesn't kind of work. Joni and I have tried to shift it into like more buddy cop relationship.
Nice.
But then we sort of ran out of time. I got busy and then I couldn't really play it for her. And then she got like stressed out because I wasn't available.
She's like,
to
fine,
stuff.
I'll just do it myself.
Yeah, she just started doing it herself, bringing the interns, and wasn't the same
Yeah.
relationship. So like when we go back to New York, it'll be much more because it'll just be the two of us.
Exactly.
And we'll be in the same house, and my wife will probably just be sitting there going, "What the fuck are you two doing?" But we'll be making content all the least. Okay, so her hustle blows up. It's all going really well. You've got these events going, all this sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What's next?
I want to do an e-com brand at some point.
Yeah.
Based on the experience I've had with both Ear and Edna
Yeah.
and watching their companies and now working with e-com clients myself as a freelancer, ultimately, like I said, something to do in like the mindfulness manifestation space. It's definitely a growing space.
Yeah.
I already have a business name. I already have a
Cool.
brand story. I just don't have a fucking product. So
I love that.
I need the product,
Yeah.
but everything else is there. Like I've watched businesses be built and learned from their mistakes and learned from their wins.
Yeah.
And I know like story, like founder story,
Yeah.
that is the first pillar. I've got that down.
Yeah.
I want to do it with my twin sister. The
Cool.
business name is kind of based around that.
Cool.
We've grown up in a household that's very big on mindfulness and manifesting. So the story's there, the brand's there. I just don't know what the hell the product is.
Yeah, yeah.
So hopefully in the next 12 to 24 months, I figure that out.
How much exposure did you get to product development in the other two businesses?
So much.
Okay, cool.
With Ed and I especially because that's a lot of Edna's
100%,
job.
yeah.
Is she's just so heavy in product development.
Yeah.
And all our products are made here in New Zealand.
Yeah.
So we are always on calls with our New Zealand team around the process, the ingredients, the price. And we do things in a very different way. So Edna never asks the price of a product. She says, here's the outcome. Here's a few key ingredients.
Yeah.
Make it for me. And then they tell us the price. And we go, fuck, that's a bit too high.
Yeah.
But we, like with our vitamin A we just launched, we are so much more expensive than other ones on the market. We do have a higher millage, but it's because it's like the best of the best.
Yeah.
So we didn't want to compromise any of the ingredients. We went ahead with that formulation.
Cool.
So being a part of that journey
Yeah.
has been such good knowledge to learn.
Yeah, look, I think that is 100% the way to go right now. The premiumization of products in the world is the way forward right now because like as much as like there's turmoil about economy and whatever, like the world's getting much wealthier. Like we're still much wealthier than we were 10 years ago. And we've gone through this period of time for like 20, 30 years of just like shitty products that don't do what they say they're going to do. And then like it probably came to a head when High Smile did what it did.
Oh my
right?
God.
And so like, you know, no offense to High Smile, they've got a very good business. So
They do
what they do.
Very rich
But, like,
business.
But like these products have like not delivering what they say they're going to deliver. It's been a world we're going in. And then there's been this like range of products that just said, I'm this. And then people try and they're like, oh, you were that. Yes. Okay, well, I'll keep paying the money that I'm paying for.
Yes.
And even when it's like dumb stuff like Liquid Death.
Yeah, right.
Like cans of water. It's like, no, we're just like good quality water.
Yeah.
Oh, they actually are just good water.
They are. And it shows like how important it is to have a great brand story, good visual brand, but also just like authentically who you are. Like, you're not lying about anything.
Nah.
We do water in its simplest form.
Yeah.
Here's a fucking cool version of it.
Yeah.
Buy from us.
Buy it from us. Exactly. I love it. Okay. E-commerce brand. Love it.
Yeah.
That
So we'll
is
get there.
exciting.
But yeah, I think for me, it's just right now, client focused.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying what I'm doing
Cool.
for both businesses. Personal brand though is always going to be working in the background.
Yeah.
When you have a good personal brand, it's very easy to launch a business off that. So I don't prioritize my content at all right now, but I will get there.
Yeah.
I love posting TikTok day in the life videos.
Yeah.
Love keeping people updated on my stories around like what I'm doing, business wise, client wise. So that will still work in the background. And then if Edna sells, say in the next 12 to 24 months, I'll have a great bit of money there to hopefully invest into my own thing.
Is that sort of her plans or you're not really sure?
We're not really sure at this point. She's obviously a new mum and loving that and adjusting to that life. If the opportunity came up, I mean, she's got a figure in her head. Will we reach that in the next 12 months? Would be amazing too. But yeah, it's all kind of just based on the flow of things. But we've got so many incredible products coming out that I would not be surprised if we do have offers coming very soon.
Amazing.
But yeah, so exciting.
Everyone's got a figure in their head, all business owners.
They do, right?
Yeah.
Everyone I've spoken to,
Guys, if you want to throw some money at me, I got a
Go
number
on.
in my head.
Yeah,
I'll
right?
walk away tomorrow for it. It's like as much as you love your business, there's like this thing of the stress it takes to run one.
Oh, fuck
that, like,
yeah.
if the number's big enough,
Totally.
I'm out.
Yeah, and a lot of
I'm
business owners are like, oh, it's so hard to walk away from it. It's like, if you get that figure, you're gone tomorrow. Like you'd be so happy to give it up for whatever's in your brain.
Exactly. Before we wrap up, is there anything you want to ask me? Because I just keep asking you questions.
No,
so-
I love it. I really do love it. No, nothing. I
Good.
feel like that was a really fun conversation.
Perfect. That was good. It's exciting to hear someone so young taking on this. Like,
Thank you.
I hope some of our team listen to some of this. Like, it's cool when like you like it when the younger people come in, Like, who've got these stories.
Well, yeah, I like it when it's like people similar to me and then or like a little bit ahead so I can see like where the next things are and whatnot.
Like, what's the opportunities that you can do?
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of the younger generation get like a bad rap around not having good work ethic. And I see it in parts, but we are fucking hard workers.
It's not a generation.
Yeah. It's definitely the person,
It's
right?
a person.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've got people young and old in this team, and it's nothing to do with age.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
definitely personality.
Yeah. Oh, for
But
sure.
I think what, like, from Connor's perspective and other guys, it's like, it's hard to, like, there's not a lot of role models who are real.
Yeah.
A lot of the role models you see are like, oh, well, I can't do what that person done. You know, like, I can't be Mr. Beast or whatever, right?
Oh, yeah.
And if you see some of the people who've got these brands that have exploded out of the world, they're almost so untouchable that you can't, even for New Zealanders, right? Like, even like how you're saying with like Girls with Invest and Simi and those, like, they're almost so big now that it's like all the guys from Crimson or like all these like big businesses take it off. It's like, well, I'm not looking at them. Like, that's a whole nother thing. But when you see people at this beginning stages of their journey, like it makes younger people go, oh, okay, I get the picture.
Yeah. And that's
100%.
the whole goal with Her Hustle as well, especially looking like, I hope I inspire men and women too, but particularly women. Like I said on my podcast last week, someone asked me like, how did you get to where you are? And I just said like, it requires so much sacrifice. I've sacrificed 5 years of my 20s, like not going out, not going my OE, not traveling. Like, will I regret that one day? Maybe, but I fucking love building my career and I'm so glad that I did. But people just don't realize it will require sacrifice in other areas. I try to preach about like, you can do it all. Like I party in the weekend, then I hustle during the week. But there are so many areas of your life you do have to sacrifice for your goals and your dreams. Yeah, of course. And it's important to keep that in mind.
Oh, 100%. That is so much. Sacrifices. I was listening to this guy, Ving, I can't remember his name, Ving Nguyen. He's like this presentation coach out of Australia. And he was talking about that. Like, he's like, I've never met a business owner who gets up at 4:30 every morning, meditates, go to the gym, does a cold plunge, does my
like those
skincare
videos,
routine, does all my shit, goes to work at 11, makes $1 billion, goes home, does. He's like, they don't fucking exist. He's like, maybe once they've all already made $1 billion.
When they've made it, of course you can have that life.
But it's like in the hustle stage, it's like, no, you got to sacrifice. Like you might not be there for your kids, you might not be there for your partner, you might gain weight, lose weight, stress out, all this stuff. But he's like, but that ends at some point. If you do everything right, it ends.
Exactly.
And you can keep going forward.
Exactly. And I'm so happy to travel and stuff when I've built what I want to do. Yeah. I always talk to business owners and I say, what's like your biggest regret in business? And they always say, I didn't start early enough or I didn't take enough risks. So I'm trying to start early. I'm trying to take risks ultimately to get to a place where I can then live more comfortable life. But right now I'm loving the chaos.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. This is awesome.
Thanks for having me.
No, I appreciate it. All right. Cheers.
Yay.